What's up, YouTube? So I just finished one side of my Kia 2020 Kia Telluride pads and rotor on the left side here. Before I started this, I did some research. I really didn't find many walkthroughs for this specific car. I was kind of worried about the electronic parking brake here. Yeah, so that was one of my concerns. Other than that, I mean, if I could handle that, I figured it was just like any other brake job. But what I'll do is I'll go on the other side here and I'll kind of walk you guys step by step, because you want to back. This is the electronic parking brake. You want to remove that. It's a little different than manual brakes, but you want to remove this, and there's a and you want to back that piston up. There's like a gear system in here that you have to work back to be able to compress that piston back. So I have I rented the caliper tool from Advanced Auto. You guys know how that works. What they do is they kind of sell you the tool and then you return it. Call it a rental. So before you start, obviously, usually you want to get your I like to take the cover off my brake reservoir here. So I did that already. Yeah, so once I took care of that electronic parking brake there, it was pretty easy to back it up with the caliper tool there. Put the new pads in, new rotor. As you can see, the old ones are here. Old ones here were pretty rough shape. These are my pads. This is a 2020. I got 48,000 miles on it, I think. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody. I think the parts from the dealer were just parts. It was like $300, so I imagine it's $400 to $500 to get this job done, if not more now. And plus you got to wait for them to get you in. The rotors weren't even available from the dealer. They didn't even have a date for me for the rotors, so I was kind of forced to go with the Advanced Auto ones. Like, let's jump over to the other side. First thing you want to do is pop that wiring harness off the electronic parking brake. Also, make sure your electronic parking brake is actually not engaged, obviously, so you want to disengage that. Pop the harness off, and now you don't have to worry about it. It's in what they call service mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these caliper guide bolts off. Those shouldn't be too tight, and I will then be able to remove this whole caliper, and then we'll be able to get that electronic parking brake motor off. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do here is remove the caliper guide bolts right here. Those are a 15. See that there, 15 millimeter. Go ahead and a second here. All right, it shouldn't be too tight. I'm gonna go ahead and back those out. Get out of here. Oh damn. All right, so I just broke loose this caliper bracket bolt here. It's a tight spot in here, so usually I would use my 1/2-inch drive, but I'm using the 3/8-inch drive here with the 17 millimeter. Yep, 17 millimeter. And just gonna back those out of that one, and then the one on the bottom here, gonna back them out. Also got this sprayed down with some PB blaster. Up here in upstate New York, they like their salt, so we gotta douse everything in that. So while this is soaking, I am working on this here. I'm gonna go ahead and break that loose so I can get this bracket off, and then I will be able to get this rotor off. Hopefully it comes off pretty easy. All right, so I got the rotor off. I'm gonna move on to removing that electronic parking brake. That is a hex bit right here. That is a number 5 hex. Yep, number 5 hex. It's 2 bolts on the back of this thing. Let's see here. Be careful with your brake line. I got mine unplugged. Make sure to do that first, as stated in the beginning of the video. But the 2 bolts are right here. Right there. Let's see. All right, one right. Let's focus. One right there, and the other one is on the bottom there, if you see that. All right, we're gonna take that off, and this hex also works for backing up the electronic parking brake also. Once we get in there, I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I got my electronic parking brake off. I undid those 2 bolts there with that hex 5-bit. So that was on there kind of like that. Able to take that off, put that off to the side here. Make sure you don't get any grime or anything in there. So yeah, this is what the mechanism in here looks like. What you're gonna want to do, let me see if I can get a little focus in there for you. See what that looks like. But inside of there is also this hex 5-bit. So you're gonna stick that in there. Stick that in there, and we're gonna put our caliper tool here that I rented from Advanced Auto. Sorry about this focus. But yeah, so as you back that parking brake up manually here, as you spin that, you're gonna tighten your caliper tool. I only have 2 hands, so I will try to do my best here to kind of demonstrate that for you guys, but bear with me here. I'm gonna try and demonstrate how to get that piston back in there inside that boot. I know it looks like it's I thought it was ripped there, but it's actually not. It was just some grime buildup. Once again, upstate New York. So yeah, as I spin this, I'm gonna tighten this. So I'm doing it little by little. This would actually work better with one of those squeeze type of things. I forgot what they're called, but also a caliper tool. Squeeze that back in there. It doesn't go very hard. I mean, you know, fairly new car, 2020, so it backs up pretty easy. You just gotta, I do it little by little as I pull back the piston here. I go back here, and hard to do it with one available hand, but I spin that and get this contracting back little by little until I get it all the way back. All right, so I got the pads in here. One thing you want to know when you're putting these in is you want to get these little guides that are on them. You want to have them on the right side of the rotor, so when you put your caliper on, that they're in the right place. So for the Telluride here, these guides, these like one side of the pads, they're closer together. On the other side, they're farther apart, as you can see there. So the closer together side is on the outside here, the outside of the car, and then the other side is obviously on the inside. So I got those on. I am ready to put that caliper on. Let's try to slide that on. All right, sorry about this, guys. Using a cell phone camera here, not a pro once again. All right, so I had to push that piston a little further back to get it around these pads. Let's try this again. All right, let's see. All right, move that one out of the way there. Move that one out of the way there. So you can see how that works with those little guides I was telling you about. They kind of line up there, and the piston, there's a little notch in the piston that lines up with the other side. There's right in the middle of it, there's one of those guides, and that lines up with that. So if you spun your piston around, no big deal. Spin it back so it fits onto that guide. All right, so I'm gonna put this back on there and get it bolted on real quick, and then I'll put the electronic parking brake on. All right, so before you put your caliper back on, you wanna put that electronic parking brake motor back. Just gonna reattach that. It's easier to do it this way. I'm not sure if you could even do it with it on there, but I'm gonna do it right now, and then I'm gonna pop that caliper back on over the pads and go from there. All right, so I got everything on. I got the electronic parking brake on. I got the caliper bracket on, torqued that. I put the caliper guide bolts back in, torqued those. With the torque wrench, obviously, got the rotor pads on, new Rotors pads. Was able to back that piston up. I hope that this helps you guys out a little bit. I know it was hard for me to find anybody showing this process on this KIA Telluride 2020 and newer. Like I said, here locally, the parts are, I couldn't even get the rotor, but pads are available. I could do the pads, and that was booked way out, but the rotors, they couldn't even get them here in my area. So I was able to get everything at Advanced Auto Parts for like 130 bucks. The dealer wanted just $300 for the parts. So I feel like I definitely saved a couple $100 there. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel back on, get her down, and take her for a drive, see how she does. All right, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, comment below. All right, so we're all set here, but one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is before you head out for your test drive, make sure you pump the brakes. Get them nice and firm before you put it in drive. Important safety tip, please do not miss that. And get your cap back on there, back on the reservoir, close her up, and should be good to go. Once again, thanks for watching. Comment below if you have any questions or anything like that. I'd be happy to help you guys out.